told me love was only in the movies. It don't exist in real life these days, no. But you showed me if I only just find the faith I need to believe. Anything is possible if you want it bad enough. Know the sky ain't too high. Test your limits. You can feel unstoppable, incredible. Almost there, I can see. I'm so ready.
Hey Ace family!
Welcome back to our channel, guys.
What's going on, everybody?
So today is a very exciting day because we've been wanting to share this video with you guys for a couple of weeks now. We had the opportunity and the pleasure to meet with Hollywood medium Tyler Henry, someone who I absolutely love, someone who I've been watching for the past year and a half or so.
This is the only guy that I'm allowing Catherine to love other than
I'm literally obsessed with this man.
Okay, chill.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with what a medium is or who Tyler Henry is, so he is a medium and he is able to speak to people on the other side. So people who have passed away, people who are spirits or angels or whatever you like to call them. And he also can speak to people and tell them about their future or tell them about their health, their career paths, or whatever is going on in their lives. So before we continue with this video, I just want to say that I completely 100%, Austin and I, we completely respect everyone's beliefs and their opinions on this topic. I know that a lot of people aren't so open-minded, or not necessarily open-minded, but just don't really believe in this kind of stuff. And so I am not offended, Austin and I are not offended that you don't want to watch this video or that you don't believe in it. But please just have respect with what we decided to do, and have respect for Tyler Henry, who's going to be shown in our video and who's going to be giving us a reading.
And who is now a part of the family. So please welcome him with open arms. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'll be the first to admit that I was not much of a believer.
He would hate when I would watch the show. He would be like, there's no way this is real.
Not hate. It was just hard for me to believe and like wrap my head around that it's actually possible for him to know those things.
Yeah.
But now that we got the opportunity to sit down and talk with him, I'm a believer.
So I just want to give you a little quick background on why exactly I even wanted to meet with Tyler. Just about a year ago, I started watching him on E! And I loved his vibe, I loved the show, and I don't really watch TV, but for some reason I was just watching that show and I'd be so excited when a new episode would come on. I'm really open-minded when it comes to this topic, and I just feel like personally I've had certain situations where I had signs come to me, and as crazy as that sounds, I pretty much felt like my grandmother was in the room. My grandmother passed away when my mom was 15 years old from ovarian cancer. And so I obviously never got to meet her, but my mom has never really had closure. And so whenever I started watching Tyler Henry, I was like, okay, if I ever had the opportunity to meet with Tyler, my grandmother would be the one person that I would really want to come through. And so that's what kind of like inspired me to want to meet him. And now we're sitting here today and we're able to show that to you guys on our channel. We actually had the opportunity to go on his show, which is a new season that's coming up this month.
Wednesday the 28th.
Yeah, so Wednesday the 28th. So you guys can watch his show on E! But we thought it would be best if he came onto our channel,
so all of you Ace family members could be a part of it.
Obviously this footage that we're about to show you was not shot today. This was shot a couple of weeks ago. And not to mention, during this time, during the day that he came, was right when we found out we were pregnant. So nobody knew. So we hadn't even posted the video on our channel yet. So he kind of came at like a perfect time because it was the day after we found out. We were just really excited to see if he was gonna touch on it or know that if we were pregnant or not. At this point, like I said, nobody knew we were pregnant, not even some of our family members. So that was a cool thing. And then obviously, like anything to do with my family or Austin's family, like you can't Google that, like nobody knows. Some of the things he touched on that day, Austin didn't even know. And so he's extremely talented, and obviously you can believe in whatever you want to believe, and I completely respect that. But I will say that in my heart and in Austin's heart, we were like, this is insane. He completely touched on things and gave us validation on things that we had discussed or we had thought of or that's happened in our past, in our lives. And so yeah, it's really interesting.
So I do want to say before you guys actually watch this reading that the reading was probably over an hour, so we had to cut it down to probably less than half, and we kept parts in there that we felt all of you would enjoy. and we obviously took out the more personal stuff. The full reading was, like I said, over an hour, and we had to cut it completely down. So you guys will see majority of it, but we didn't want this video to be an hour long. We're so excited that we just want to get straight into the reading. So if you guys are just as excited as we are, make sure you give this video a thumbs up right now. Give it a thumbs up for Tyler Henry. And shall we roll the clip?
Yes.
Roll it. Hello, how are you? I'm Tyler. I do hugs. Oh, great to meet you. How are you?
Nice to
Oh,
meet you.
lovely to meet you.
Nice to
guys.
finally meet you.
Yes, how's it going?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Welcome to the Ace family house.
Beautiful, I love
Thank
it.
you.
This is an amazing
Thank you.
area.
Is the lighting good in here?
Oh my god, it's amazing. I can
Okay.
feel my cheekbones already.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited.
We're so happy to have you.
Yes. Well, you mentioned that you'd seen the show before.
Exactly.
So you're familiar with the process. Now, have you seen the show before?
I have, yes.
Awesome.
I mean, I have to. She's obsessed with you, so
Oh.
I gotta watch what she's obsessed with.
That's so sweet. Well, I'm excited to see what comes through today. The way that I do readings is it's not that much different from the show. My job really as a medium is just to connect to valuable information. And I receive information in a number of ways. So the way that I kind of work is when I interact with a person, I'll get a feeling, and that feeling will be followed by another feeling, and then another feeling. And usually these feelings actually have relevance in a person's life. It can be about situations involving the past, sometimes information about people who've passed away will come through. Other times family matters that someone needs some healing around will come through as well. So my goal as a medium is just to leave anyone I meet better than I find them. And that's really what it's all about. So whether it's about connecting to a loved one or just talking about personal life, we'll navigate and we'll kind of see what naturally is meant to come through. And then midway towards the end of the reading, I'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you'd like. But until then, I prefer to just do all the talking. I feel like it maintains the integrity of the experience. And for me, I'm really big on validation, specifics, that kind of thing. So I'll communicate everything that comes through. And we'll see kind of where we go. I have no idea. It's like kind of overwhelming, but we'll see where we naturally go. And midway through, we'll check in. And if you have any questions, we'll go from there.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good.
Awesome. So I have a notebook here. A lot of people wonder what that's all about. The way this works, as you can see, is it's just a blank page, and I scribble. So it's just my way of meditating and getting in the zone.
Okay.
That's all I'll be doing.
I'm familiar with it.
Awesome.
So go ahead and do your scribbles.
Perfect. And then the last part of the process before we start is usually there's objects. So do you have any objects today?
I do.
Awesome.
Yes.
Do you mind if we place them like right in this
Yes.
area?
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect.
Big
And
one.
then we'll probably flip that page over just because there's writing on it, so we'll make sure you can't read any of that.
Yeah. It's actually in Spanish.
Oh, good. Well, good.
So-
I don't speak Spanish, so we're lost. Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to give a minute to scribble. I'm not going to hold on to anything quite yet, but
Okay.
we'll just kind of see what naturally pops in.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Wow. A lot coming in, so I'm going to just try to communicate everything that's popping in.
Okay.
Wow, okay. I have 3 people that I have to bring up. I'm just going to communicate all of what's popping in. Okay. 2 are for sure coming in on your side of the family, but there's 1 coming in for your side of the family as well. So I'm going to try to navigate who's who. So it's interesting. Connected to your side of the family, they're having me talk about this man who would have been like a strong, male, masculine, protective figure. He's immediately where I kind of have to center my focus. The thing around him is that he passed away prematurely. So from his perspective, he feels like he would have passed away too soon, too early. He wouldn't have gotten like a full chance at life. He's connecting to this in particular. So when I'm holding onto this, for some reason there's a reference to this man, and he kind of comes through and basically acknowledges passing away before his time. And that's really important to acknowledge. We'll get into the details and specifics of what all this means, but there's this man. He keeps coming in and he's very connected. He keeps having me kind of bring up your mother, and then they're kind of having me navigate different family. So I'm going to try to see, but I'm going to bring in both your mom's side and your dad's side of family.
Okay.
Your dad's side of family, and then mom's side of family. Let me separate the 2. There's mom. Connected to this, there's a lot coming in. Your mom's side and your dad's side both are coming through. Your mom's side is kind of more my primary focus. But I'm interested with some of these objects. There's a situation, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to navigate all of what's popping in. There's a situation where it's connected to this more. there's two passings that both happen kind of prematurely, and they're connected to your family. And when I say prematurely, that to me usually indicates, like, obviously, we're not wanting the person to go when they do. We're not expecting them to go when they do to some extent. Or the age would be weird when someone would pass. So there's one situation where this person had this man and this woman, they're both coming through, but this man is connecting more to the object. So this,
Okay.
when I'm holding onto this, there's a man coming in
Yes.
very strongly connected to this. And when he's coming in, he's having me acknowledge, like, geography. I don't know why he's showing moving around a bunch. I don't know if your family's moved around a bunch, but he's having me acknowledge family, and then referencing to geographical distance, so where we would be born versus where we're at, but it's connected to him. And he's having me talk about someone making a trip to this place after his passing that would have sentimental value.
Yeah.
So wherever he would be connected to, he's having me acknowledge this feeling of, like, after I passed, someone would have made a trip, or made, like, a visitation back to, like, this home.
We recently went to Panama, and that's where he passed away, and that's where he lived.
Makes sense. So that's his validation of coming forward and acknowledging, I know that you went on this trip. I know that you're back to the homeland, you know, the way this comes through.
Okay.
He's very much putting an emphasis on this. He's having me bring up your father, and the way this is coming in, father. See, it's weird. I have a woman connecting to your mother, and again, I might have this kind of off.
No.
But I just have to get.
No, you're getting it, actually.
Your mom. Okay, I have to make sure this is. For your father, I have a man coming through. For your mother, I have her mother figure coming through.
Yes.
Both passed away relatively prematurely, like too soon, would you say?
Yes,
Okay.
for sure.
So then that's the connection. Your dad's dad is coming in. There's something in this that they're trying to communicate, like a weirdness around a passing. The feeling with this, and again, I don't know if it's his dad's side or mom's side, but there's weirdness around a passing. I'm putting it around one, not really the other. There's weirdness. And by that I mean they're putting, like, oh, gotcha. Okay.
They both knew each other.
Gotcha.
So they would both maybe try to come in together
It
because
makes
they
sense.
actually knew each other.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
so cool. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Because it's like coming in and they're like battling, coming through
It's weird.
together.
My mom and my dad met when they were like 14. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So they were really young.
Right. That's incredible. This is coming in. This is trauma around. There's something. I'm very careful with when they start presenting the passing because this is like coming in. There's something that they're trying to clear up with this that still is kind of unresolved. So I have to figure out what this is because it's like the nature of the passing. I want to say this connects more to your dad's dad than it would your mom's mom, if I had to say.
Okay.
For some reason, they're putting a feeling of like not resolved around dad's dad. Around mom's mom, they're not bringing up that same feeling. This seems to be though like in the logistics of the actual passing. They're just for some reason putting it around dad's dad, like not healed. So something there is like still basically like the way this happened feels, I don't know, weirdly more traumatic to me, like the ripple effect of it.
So
Mystery though, I don't know what this is. Not to interrupt, I'm sorry. Do you know if there was anything that like, because when people pass away, we want to know as much as possible as far as like what led up to their death, how they died.
Yeah.
If there's ever any question marks or we don't know like how this happens initially, it can make a family grieve differently. It can make them feel like, oh God, we have to figure out how this happened or why this happened. There's this kind of feeling in the way this comes through of like, why does this happen? And I don't know who it applies to, but it's a feeling within family of like not really having a resolve at the time because we don't really understand how this happens. If someone's diagnosed with cancer, we know how they pass. It's not that kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is more like, why did this have to happen this way? It's kind of coming in.
So, I don't really know the history of his death, but I do know that he passed away very abruptly, and it was in his home, and he was by himself.
Gotcha.
And it was one of those things where the neighbors noticed they didn't see him for a couple days or a couple weeks,
See.
and then that's how they found him.
Right, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's coming in and it's basically a situation where it's like if we were to discover him, family would wonder, could we have done anything different? Could we have done this quicker?
Yeah,
Could we have responded?
makes
And it's
sense.
just this feeling of like, let this go. It's okay. Nothing could have been done differently. When he comes through, he's perfectly fine.
Okay.
But he wants family to let go on dad's side of like this issue of like, it's okay that we didn't find me immediately. It's okay, like this comes in as like, it is what it is. And I'm okay with this. And then mom's mom comes in and is just very much around her, very proud of her, very connected. And then very connected to like the female children within the family. And then she's having me talk about babies. And she's acknowledging thumbs up, and then expansion within family. And it's her way of bringing forward an awareness of a little girl. And then she actually is trying to communicate to this little girl which is good to keep in mind. So in as far as like children go, if you notice like a child acting strangely, saying something, having a recollection of something that they might not normally have, they're making it very clear that they've already tried to connect with this little girl.
Okay.
They've tried to communicate.
So maybe my little sister Valentina.
Very possible. Absolutely.
Because she actually knew her birthday,
Whoa.
which was weird.
Yeah.
And she told my mom, "Hey, it's Martha's birthday today."
There you go.
And she wanted to tell her.
Absolutely. So that's just validation, like, because
Yeah.
she's already came to like this younger female child and just like tried to impart communication around it. So
Wow,
it's just
okay.
validation of that.
So I recently got this.
Awesome.
So it was hers.
Nice. There's a reference to a person who dealt with a medical situation at an earlier age. And nowadays, we probably would be able to combat this medical situation because of developments that we've made. At the time this person fell ill, they were young, or too young traditionally to kind of develop this issue. This person passed away as a result of this medical problem. Nowadays, if this person were to get the same thing, it could be workable. It would be like a lot more reasonable. But there's this feeling of like someone passing around kind of middle age or kind of in that department. It may not be exact like 50 or anything like that, but it just, I don't feel like I reach my senior years. And there's just this feeling, it does come through on mom's side of family of like medical thing, but like medical thing that if we got it today, we would have been able to like extend our quality of life.
Okay.
I just don't feel like we had either the technology around where we were at geographically at the time to deal with this, along those lines. And then they are having me also bring up a baby or a child that passed away, which is really good to look into because this is coming through on mom's side of family. So check and see if someone lost a sibling, if someone lost a child. They're bringing up this like child keeps coming in and it's connected to that side of family.
Okay.
So I can't make a change, but just good to keep in mind.
Okay.
But they're putting, connected to her, just keeping in mind, they're bringing up feminine system for her. And it's just an area to keep in mind of like ovarian, uterine, cervical, and breast. So just make sure mom's on top of that. When that area comes up, it can sometimes mean that someone might have a conversation about getting something removed, having to kind of like look about getting something tested. It's nothing serious. It doesn't feel like anything cancerous.
So my grandmother, who was my mom's mom, passed away from ovarian cancer.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to switch gears slightly because I can tell they're kind of moving. What we can do now is if you have any questions about your personal life, it's going to be a part that is exciting. And if you have any additional questions about these people, feel free. But sometimes people have questions about things going on in the here and the now. Now, in life, when it comes to the future, I don't think the future's set in stone. I think it's kind of like trajectories. Like, if you throw a frisbee, you can get an idea of where that frisbee's probably going to land. So in life, we head down certain trajectories, and intuitive people can sometimes read that trajectory, whether it's about our career, love life, personal life, health matters. So if there's any questions that you have, the more general, the better, just so I can kind of naturally tune into specifics.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have one question.
Pull out your phone.
Whip out the notes. Do you have questions regarding anything? Well, let me look. There's something coming in. You two are going to collaborate in a business setting, but in a different way beyond what you're doing presently, and I love it, but I have to figure out what this is.
Okay.
Because they're putting you two together, career, but like even more.
Okay.
So let me see what this is. Just that. So interesting. Oh, okay. Great. A couple different things. So one, you two are going to get approached to do something when it comes to media on a larger scale. So media for me can be television, internet, all that business. But this is something like they're bringing me to a tier higher in the way this is coming in for some reason.
Okay.
The weird thing is with this is they're having me talk about this idea and then the timing being weird. Like when it's presented, so we're like, like, nah, no, this doesn't really feel, and then it works. Like it ends up working out. But initially when we're presented this idea, it seems like, okay, how are we going to do it? It doesn't really seem, so it might not seem lucrative, but they're bringing this up and it's like, keep this in mind because it's this thing you two will do together and it's like, it's going to be good, but it's taking us to another tier. So even if that's another tier within the online realm, but it's bringing us, I honestly feel like I'm seeing TV, I can't make it change. So, you know, I only bring up stuff if I'm like honestly seeing it and I can't make it change.
Okay.
If you get any TV opportunities in a like large sense, the timing like might feel weird with the timing, but I see this happening. I would encourage it. So it's really
And it
interesting.
seems comfortable, right? It seems happy.
The thing is the initial plan of it doesn't seem conducive to like the brand or like what we would be doing.
Yeah.
But like then we tweak it and then it ends up being fine. There's a world it would live in. It's just it's not gonna the way it would start. I don't love, so it's going to require some changes and tweaks to get to where we need to be. But I wouldn't give up on it, and that's really the message. Like, we're meeting for a reason. Don't give up on this, whatever this is, when this happens, because it's like we just have to keep with it. And then they're bringing up a reference to like health, wellness. It's weird. Putting an emphasis on like health and wellness, but they're putting this around you two together. And then they're having me talk about like launching, and it seems new. It's a new thing, and it would be something we haven't really done fully. But they're bringing up like new thing, health, wellness, and like a thing. So sometimes people create products, ideas. They're putting this together, and they're putting a lot of excitement around this. And you need to know that this is going to be great.
Really?
But it's like a whole thing, and it's like
We've
guys.
been talking about this.
I cannot convey the extent of how important that is as far as a next chapter, a next step.
Really?
It looks like it's something huge.
Oh my god.
So please know, like, that's an amazing direction to get to go, because that'll lead to so many other things. But I swear to God, that's like...
That's
huge.
a question that we've been, like something we've been talking about. So it's interesting to get that from you.
Absolutely. You know, I
Really
find
interesting.
our loved ones oftentimes know even when we're talking about certain things, and we
Yeah.
communicate certain things. And so in readings, oftentimes, conversations people had in the past 2 to 3 days will kind of come in, even sometimes. So, but please know, it's validation.
She's there.
On the right track. Absolutely.
Do you have any questions?
No, but you had a lot more than this.
I'm just like just overwhelmed.
It's a lot.
And what do
What
you think?
about as far as like growing our family? Any future kids?
Absolutely. No worries. How many do you have currently?
One.
One. Currently. Awesome. Great. Okay. Cool. Right, there's that. Cool. They're joking about timing. They're showing me a clock, and then the clock is like, like it keeps changing. So that can sometimes mean when it comes to expanding a family. I don't know what your thoughts are on it. It looks like career is going to be at such a crazy point of taking off that it's like, okay, do I have the time to do this in fully? But you will, and it'll be fine. But it's just, right now I would really keep in mind the health and wellness thing.
Okay.
That is my center focus. Intuitively, if I were in your guys' position, from a long-term perspective, that's something that I would really look into in how it can be applied in many different ways, from services to products to a number of things.
Okay.
It's not going to just be one idea, it's one idea that'll turn into many different ideas that'll kind of stem from it, and that's really powerful. So
Makes a lot of sense.
it's really something I can't stress enough, guys, when I know that something is going to be good and it's going to work out and you guys are going to be amazing at it. That is like an amazing next chapter. So your family will continue to build, but so will your business, and that's going to be a really helpful next step. So absolutely. I love it. Wow, we've covered some ground.
We're on the right track, huh?
We've covered the whole planet Earth.
Yes.
Golly. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's just validation.
Yeah, no, it is a validation for sure. We're always talking about the next move,
Right.
and to have that validation is awesome for us.
Absolutely.
I'm just so speechless, man. Honestly, like when it comes to being in front of the camera, I'm the one who does majority of the talking, but I can't even talk. Like ever since we sat down,
Yeah.
I'm speechless.
Well, I'm glad. Hopefully today you heard what you're meant to hear.
For sure.
You know, I think these things happen for a reason. What is said for a reason. And when you leave this experience, maybe think back about, you know, what came through and why it came through. So you're meant to hear it.
So, do you think we should tell him something? Not regarding the picture, but
Yeah.
you want to tell him something?
So we just found out that we're pregnant.
I was actually wondering if that's why I was saying the hormonal thing.
Okay.
Funny enough,
So
because they were showing me hormonal.
I'm
And so I was
actually
like,
nauseous right now, so I didn't know whether you could feel me or not.
interesting, because they
Yeah.
were joking about hormonal.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering. I was like, that makes sense. Because I'm like, hormonal. Usually
Yeah,
that's a thing. So
okay.
that's fascinating. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
But yeah, they're definitely, literally, they only showed 2. And it doesn't mean that there won't be more, but they were like 2.
What about like, do you see 2 girls or do you see like potential boy? Like,
It's a good question. Well, see, the thing is they kept having me talk about trying to find a boy, and a joke about like, good luck. So we'll see. So we'll have to stay
Sometimes we don't
tuned.
want to tell you everything.
That's funny.
That's so funny. He really wants a boy.
I bet, but it'll work out. That's all I'll say.
regardless of what we have, as
Yes.
long as it's healthy, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. So no doubt we'll be born to a loving family.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Last question, I'm sorry.
No worries.
What about Al? You want to ask them about Al?
Yeah. I want to know if my daughter is she going to be okay with being in front of the camera? Is she comfortable with being in front of the camera?
It's cute because she'll be very eloquent, and it's actually interesting. I say the word eloquent, like for her age, as time goes on, and I don't know how old she is, but I've talked about like being able to say things in a certain way and put things in a certain way that's like way beyond her years. And so that's good to kind of look for and kind of keep in mind. It's like, wow, okay,
You were right.
yeah. But with that, they're having me talk about like personality, but they're putting that like in front of the camera. So I feel like if anything, she'll kind of grow into more of a comfort of like being able to take, you know, her uniqueness.
Yeah, she's 1.5.
Oh,
so she's
very
really
young.
little.
Gotcha.
But she's very advanced.
She
Yes.
loves being in front of the camera.
Absolutely. No, it feels really good. She feels like the type that will naturally kind of be on when cameras are rolling. So it's kind of that type of thing. As time goes on, we'll see her actually finding it enjoyable and positive.
Awesome.
So yeah. No.
We're both like we were kind of like love having the camera when we were younger, and as we got older, and so knowing that she's okay with it, it makes us happy to hear.
Absolutely. And then the only thing to keep in mind for her is, are having me talk about that. They're just bringing up her tongue department, and then digestion, and then we're gonna see a little bit of a digestion problem, which is just good to keep in mind. This looks pretty basic, so nothing. She'll grow out of this, but there's the stomach thing they're bringing up for her, and it just seems like annoying. Let me see what this is. Basically, like if your stomach isn't able to process certain things like lactose or whatever, sometimes it'll deal with upset stomach. I think she's gonna be amazing.
Okay. And anything you want to know about career-wise? I feel like we had questions that you kind of touched on things with us.
The health and wellness thing, guys. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Really.
like it's
So
massive.
we've been thinking about opening up.
Yeah, we'll touch on that.
I
Can't
got
tell too much to the Ace family.
Okay.
But what about as far as like touch on our YouTube career and like?
Yeah.
Because we've been doing it for
A year and a half.
A year and a half now.
Yeah.
And it's grown significantly.
Yeah. We truly enjoy doing it, and like we're all about positivity and giving back, and we want to do more and more of that. We just have to find the right times and place.
Sure.
But like that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
And so when you brought up the TV thing, for us it's so overwhelming to think because we're so like what we do right now.
We love
have
having control.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's interesting that you brought that.
It makes sense. I think TV is a bit of a trade-off on some level because it can allow for a different type of exposure, but we also let go of certain freedoms, so being able to control and edit. And
like we're like the type of people that like we don't like drama. We don't like we have a great relationship, so that's what we kind of put on camera, and that's what who we are.
Exactly.
So TV kind of seems a little bit more
Sure.
not so us.
Right. I would say from a health, and again I'm going to the health and wellness thing, they're showing me physical activity. They're showing me like a gym. As weird as this is, like I don't know if anyone has any gym connections or if anyone has any like...
His mom has some gyms and
Gotcha.
camps.
Perfect.
Yeah.
For some reason they just were acknowledging this, like talking to this person about what they know. So maybe their connections, their resources. It's just something to keep in mind, the reference to that. But then from a TV perspective, YouTube. See, it feels like TV, but it's not like, it doesn't give a bad feeling with this. It has like a very specific goal with this, with the TV thing. So when we think, for example, like the health and wellness idea, if that ever could be turned into something that could be presented on a larger scale, just kind of think that direction at some point. I think that's something we'll see. They're putting such an emphasis on this idea, I can't even like tell you.
Yeah.
So really go.
Are they saying that I'm gonna start working out?
That I can't see, but you look fabulous and there's no need. You look great.
Thank
You're
you.
good.
I just feel unhealthy, and now I know I have a baby, so I do want to be healthier as a person.
Yeah, I think
So
if
that's my goal.
anything, they're bringing me to the emotional and mental, and just creating an environment where we don't feel like we have to constantly be doing the next thing. Or, I mean, we all can get caught up in our schedules sometimes. For you, it's just going to be about creating an emotional space where you're able to just be calm, and peaceful, not feel like you always have to, go down the checklist. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm not worried. I think it's going to be amazing, and I hope you guys keep me updated with the baby.
Oh, we
It's so
will for
exciting.
sure.
Like,
We're so happy we got to meet you,
Awesome.
and we appreciate you coming.
Yes, thank you so much.
Seriously, this has been
It
awesome.
means a lot.
Oh,
Now, you know, like I said, she was obsessed with you. Now that we had this talk, I'm obsessed with you now. So I need a hug.
You know what happens.
So, what'd you guys think? Hopefully you all enjoyed it. It was such a great experience for us. Thank you again, Tyler, for coming out to our house and doing a reading for us.
I will say that during the reading, I was so nervous because I was just like so excited that I finally because he was like part of my bucket list. I was like, I'm definitely gonna meet him one day. It's so crazy because a year ago I tweeted him and I was like, one day I'm gonna meet Tyler Henry.
You did?
I did.
You're thirsty.
I know. And then I ended up meeting him, so I was like so like nervous and kind of like, I don't know, it was just so weird. He's so magical. He's amazing. Like,
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking.
yeah, he can like just look at you and tell you what's wrong with you with like a little scribble away. So that's just amazing, and I'm so glad that we were able to do it, especially on camera, like for him to allow us to do that on our channel.
Yes.
We're so grateful for that. So thank you again, Tyler Henry.
Tyler, you are officially a part of the Ace family.
And he is really an amazing person. He's so gentle, so well-spoken, so sweet.
So young.
So young too, and so present. When he's talking to you, it's very present,
Yes.
real, and
So magical.
it's so amazing. Like I don't want to like hype him up or nothing, but like he really is amazing, and we're so happy to have met him.
So with all that being said, if you guys were interested in this video, make sure you check out his show, which is on E. It airs on Wednesday, the 28th.
You guys are gonna love all his episodes, like every single one. Like I'm always crying, like, oh my god, how does he know that?
Yeah,
It's
so
amazing.
make sure you guys check that out, because you know Catherine's gonna be checking it out. And hopefully later down the road, we'll be on his show.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
That'd be dope.
I feel like it'll be more cinematic just because of the way we filmed it. It was kind of like
Hey, we did what we could
we
do.
did what we could do, but I hope you guys enjoyed it.
So thank you all for tuning in. As always, before we close out today's video, we do have to give our post notification shout out to who, baby?
So today's post notification shout out goes to Elizabeth Rodriguez. So shout out to you, Elizabeth.
Hey, shout out to you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for being a part of the Ace family. You already know, we love you. Whoever else would like a post notification shout out, all you gotta do is subscribe to the Ace family. Hit that subscribe button, turn on our post notifications, hit that bell button. Once you do those two things, just comment done. And obviously, if you like today's video, you gotta give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up for Tyler Henry being so magical. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. And like me and my beautiful pregnant queen always say,
Partner queen.
yes. What do we say?
We'll be back with more videos.
Peace.